Hello there and welcome to this week's featured video, Healing the Nervous System, the 3 most essential things to regulate in the process. I'm Jennifer Ellis Schutz, chronic illness and complex PTSD warrior that turned thriver and then transformed into a functional health and lifestyle medicine practitioner, transformational coach, and founder of Wellness Code Academy. And you're watching the Wellness Code Academy channel. Let's dive into today's topic, shall we? Okay, so first up, nervous system health and healing is all the rave these days within the holistic health spaces. And rightly so, because our nervous system is our master regulator of our physiology and our psychology. And because of this, keeping our nervous systems well functioning and resilient, meaning being able to go into fight or flight or even freeze and shut down as life experiences call for it, but then being able to have the capacity to return to a state of equilibrium, homeostasis, and balance sooner than later is integral to our overall well-being and maintaining optimal health and showing up in our lives as the best versions of ourselves so that we can be, do, and have the things that we want and need to do in life, right? And so because of this, so many practitioners and self-healing programs are really focusing on helping people to learn about the nervous system, but more importantly, to take consistent action, to keep it well operating, to heal it, especially in the case of trauma and chronic illness, which both of them are pretty much worldwide epidemics these days. And I have spent the last 10 years studying everything that I can get my hands on in terms of healing the nervous system. And in today's video, I want to discuss 3 of the most essential things to keep an eye on and regulate in the process of healing your nervous system. Now, I'm not saying that these are the only 3 things that need to be regulated, but I am saying that they are likely the most foundational, the most fundamental of all. And the reason being is that they are the 3 most primary signals to our nervous system, whether we are in a state of threat versus safety. So if these signals tell our bodies that we are in a state of threat, the nervous system is going to send alarm signals down to all of the cells and organ systems in the body, telling it to mobilize for a threat. And if this goes on repeatedly and becomes chronic, we're going to run into trouble because every cell in our body will be continuously bathed with cortisol, and adrenaline and other stress-related compounds and hormones. And that is no bueno because it paves the way for chronic dis-ease and dysfunction to take hold. Versus if these signals send more of a message of safety to our body, mind, spirit system, we're going to be able to maintain homeostasis or return to homeostasis sooner than later if we need to leave it, again, based on our life experiences. So what are these 3 most primary, essential, foundational things to keep an eye on and regulate? They are as follows. Numero uno is blood sugar levels. So if our blood sugar is going too low or too high, in other words, roller coaster levels, that is totally dysregulating and sending a profound message to the nervous system of threat. And the nervous system is going to respond accordingly and then hijack the whole system. And the next thing you know, we are dysregulated. And blood sugar dysregulation is another epidemic these days. Many people have dysregulated blood sugar along with insulin and likely don't even know it. It could be happening while they sleep or just during the day, going about their daily routines. Most of us tend to operate on autopilot until we are faced with a situation that commands us to start paying more attention to our inner worlds as well as our outer worlds. So blood sugar regulation. What are ideal levels? Well, upon waking in a fasting state in the morning, you want those levels to be between 75 and 90 ideally. However, you don't want to check those levels within the first hour of waking, maybe even the first 90 minutes or even 2 hours of waking, because what can happen during that time is known as a dawn effect, where our blood sugar will temporarily spike in order to raise cortisol and other stress-based hormones to kind of wake us up and mobilize us for the day. So it's best to take a fasting blood sugar, as waiting a little bit of time, or at least as long as you can wait after waking up before you eat something or drink anything other than water. And ideally, I would say 2 hours, but some people need to eat sooner than that. So just wait as long as you can. I typically don't eat my first meal of the day until anywhere between 10 a.m. and noon. And so for me, it's not a problem. I typically take my morning fasting blood sugar around 9:30 or 10 a.m. And I use my favorite monitor, the Keto Mojo, which not only measures blood sugar, but it also measures ketones. If you're someone that is following a ketogenic diet or aiming to keep yourself in therapeutic levels of ketosis. Super simple. You can buy it on Amazon or even directly from Keto Mojo. I've used many of them over the years, and this is by far the one that has been the most reliable, user-friendly, and just overall great quality. So that is what I recommend. So again, fasting levels between 75 and 90. And then you want to check them also about 2 to 3 hours after eating a meal. And at that time, you also want it to ideally be between 75 and 90, and maybe check it again before bed. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do this every day, but it is good to take maybe a week or two and check them consistently during those times for a week or two to see what your patterns are, and then do spot checking. I check mine like 2 days a week, sometimes less, and sometimes I'll skip a month, and I just want to keep an eye on what my blood sugar is doing, because I know how essential it is to keeping my nervous system in a good regulated state more often than not. And also, when it comes to blood sugar, know that it's not just based on what you eat. There are many factors that can cause blood sugar to become dysregulated, such as not getting enough sleep, sleeping too much, dehydration, being sedentary or excessively exercising, psychological stress levels in your life, and so many other factors. So if you find yourself that you do have dysregulated blood sugar levels, that they're not falling within those optimal ranges of 75 to 90, then it's time to take a look at all of your lifestyle factors, of course, beginning with nutrition, because what you put in your mouth is going to be one of the biggest influencers of it, but also look at all the other factors and then kind of make adjustments as needed. Oh, and also supplements and medications can also cause blood sugar to become dysregulated. So you want to take an inventory of all of that. Okay, the next factor that needs to be regulated is our breathing patterns. Yes, our breath is another primary signal to the nervous system stating whether we're in a space of threat versus safety. And many people, especially if they have a lot of accumulated stress and trauma and are dealing with chronic health issues in any way, tend to be suboptimal breathers. They might be rapid breathers, they might be shallow chest breathers, they might be holding their body rigidly when they're breathing, or a tendency to hold their breath, especially when they experience stressful situations. And the list goes on. And another thing is mouth breathing, especially during the night. Mouth breathing overall is just a huge health record. An optimal functional breath needs to be through the nose, down into the diaphragm, not into the chest, with a belly rise, and the body in a relaxed fashion, aiming for anywhere between 8 breaths to 12 breaths per minute. I kind of shoot to keep it around 10, but closer to 8, the better. Now, of course, your breathing is going to speed up depending on your movement and what you're experiencing in that time in terms of stress levels and so forth. But just when you are in a normal state of functioning, like working at your desk or doing something or watching a television program, you want to aim for that through the nose into the belly. Relaxed, open posture, exhaling however it feels right for you, either out your nose or your mouth or both. No mouth breathing, no shoulder rising, no chest rising, and so forth. And if you make a point to check in on your breathing throughout the day and shift it so that you are aligned with those patterns, you're going to do yourself an immense favor. And then at night, truth be told, most of us do have a tendency to become mouth breathers. It's just the mouth, especially if you sleep on your back, the mouth naturally opens, and this is a huge stressor, not only to the nervous system, but the immune system. And so something that you can consider doing, if it feels comfortable to you, is wearing mouth strips specifically designed for night sleeping, because many companies now realize that mouth breathing is a health hindrance. I use one made by a company called Hostage Tape, and I've tried like 4 different kinds, and by far Hostage Tape is the most comfortable. It's breathable, it's kind of meshy, it's soft, it's like fabric, and it's got 100% gluten-free adhesive, and the adhesive is non-irritating. And I put one on every night. It took me about 30 days to get used to it. For the first 30 days, it felt very uncomfortable. It kind of felt a little claustrophobic. However, the more I relaxed into it, and reminded myself of the health benefits of it, the easier it became. And now I literally can't sleep without them because it's been such a game changer for me. So mouth tape at night. And the third most primary regulatory signal telling our nervous systems whether we are in a state of threat versus safety is, which I've already mentioned it, our posture. So alongside of doing regular breath check-ins throughout the day and keeping track of your blood sugar from time to time, ensuring that it's between 75 and 90, you want to check in on your posture and make sure that you're not holding yourself rigidly or slumping over, or keeping your shoulders up and tight like this, because once again, that will send a signal of threat to the nervous system. It's saying, there's danger. There's danger present, or it's coming. We need to mobilize. And it will make a profound difference in your overall well-being if you become continuously aware of how you're holding your body. And how we hold our body really influences heavily on how we show up in our lives, whether we feel, timid and full of self-doubt and not being assertive because we're holding our heads down and hunching over, or we stand up tall and yet relaxed with confidence and self-assurance. So between keeping an eye on blood sugar, your breathing, and your posture, and taking consistent action to shift them into a more optimal state of being, repeatedly, day in and day out, make it become part of your daily routine, you're going to be seriously paving a solid foundation for healing your nervous system. And therefore everything else that you do, whether it's, implement a exercise routine or a daily mindfulness meditation practice or EFT tapping or a more targeted therapeutic breathwork practice or cognitive behavioral therapy or anything it is that you choose to help support the healing of your nervous system, it's going to be so much more efficacious if you dial in on blood sugar, breathing, and posture. And trust me when I tell you, if you stick with it and be consistent to where it becomes part of how you show up in your life, your nervous system, your overall well-being, and your life will thank you. Anyway, that is a wrap for today's video. I hope you found value within. And if our message resonated with you, if you're not already following us, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. And also, if you would like to learn more about what we teach and what we do at Wellness Code Academy, which is we're all about creating programs of healing, personal growth, and holistic healer success through the lens of accumulated stress, trauma, psychoneuroimmunology, personal growth, and transformational coaching, you can check out our programs using the link in the video information below. Until next week, I wish you an amazing day and the rest of your week, and cheers to your healing, resilience, and success.